This is the topic 8, number 1 homework. Take a look at number 1. It says, what is the opposite of negative 9? So when we talk about opposites, we're talking about positive and negatives. If they give you a negative number, the opposite would be the positive. So the opposite of negative 9 would be positive 9. Number 2. On Wednesday, the temperature was 25 degrees above 0. What is the integer that corresponds with this situation? Well, in class, we talked about below or above sea level. So if it's above 0, it's going to be a positive number. So positive 25 degrees. Now, you don't have to write the positive. If it's a positive number, you could just write 25 degrees. Number 3, on Thursday, it was 7 degrees below 0. So what's the integer that corresponds with this situation? When we're talking below 0, below sea level, that's when we said we get negative numbers. So the 7 would be a negative 7 degrees. Number 4 says, which situation can the integer negative 10 represent? So if I look at my choices, I have A, spending $10, B, walking up 10 stairs, C, gaining 10 yards, or D, earning $10. So when I look at those situations, if I spend $10, I have 10 less dollars. If I'm walking up, if I go up, that's going to be a positive 10 stairs. If I gain 10 yards, like when I'm playing football, it's plus 10. And if I earn $10, I'm gaining or getting an extra $10. So the only one that would be negative would be A. Number 5 says, a point on the side of a mountain is 7,039 meters above sea level. Express this as an integer. So this one goes back similar to number 2. All you're going to do is take this number and either put a positive or a negative sign in front of it. When it's above sea level, what did we say? Is it a positive or negative? So I'm going to leave that one for you guys to do. Flip it to the back. Number 6, which of the following situations can be represented y minus 104? Circle all that apply. So if it's minus or negative 104, would that be skiing 104 feet down a mountain? A bird flying 104 feet above the ground? Spending $104 on vacation? Or earning $104 at your summer job? Okay, so you need to look at these key words in each of the statements. Would down be considered a negative? Would above be a positive? So there's going to be 2 different statements here. It says circle all that apply. That would be negative 104. Okay, and you can just circle the statements that you think would be negative 104. Let's take a look at number 7. 4 gliders circle above a field. Glider A is at an altitude of 8,134 feet. Glider B is at an altitude of 4,573 feet. Glider C is at an altitude of 6,467 feet. And glider D is at an altitude of 2,878. So what integer represents the difference in altitude between glider A and D? Okay, so difference, that key word should stick out to you, and that's going to tell you you're going to have to subtract. So we're going to have to get the altitude of glider A, which is 8,134 feet, and the altitude of glider D, which is at 2,878 feet, and difference means to subtract. I'll let you guys do that part. Okay, so you're going to get an answer here. And then it says, what integer represents the difference in altitude between glider B and C? So glider B is at 4,573 feet. Glider C is at 6,467 feet. Okay, again, you have to find the difference between them. Okay, and I'll let you guys do that. Number 8 says, Roberto and Jean played a new computer game. The game was more difficult than they expected. Roberto's final score was negative 60 points. Jean's final score was negative 160 points. So write an inequality to compare these two scores. Well, when you see that word inequality, they mean a less than, greater than, or equal to sign is got to go between those two values. So the first value is negative 60, the other one is negative 160. What value or what inequality sign would I put between those two values? Well, we talked about money, we talked about temperature. Which one of these would be the lower amount? Would you rather owe somebody $60 or rather owe them $160? Or would it be colder if it was negative 60 or colder if it's negative 160? Remember what we said about the number line. Zero's in the middle, and then I count up 1, 2, 3, 4. The numbers get bigger as you move to the right. As I move to the left, the numbers get smaller. So even though the digits are increasing, those values are actually smaller. So if negative 60 was here on the number line, negative 160 would be even further down. So it would be getting smaller. So the inequality that I would put in there would look like that. Negative 60 would actually be larger than negative 160. So who had the higher final score and how much did they win by? So you have to decide which one of these is the higher score and how much did they win by. Hopefully this will help.